So let me guess if this happened to you. You finally got everything prepared to create your first video. You stood in front of the camera and you completely blanked. You panicked. You didn't know what you were supposed to do or how you were supposed to behave, and all of a sudden everything felt really weird and awkward and you just gave up. Now, if this has happened to you, don't feel bad. It's happened to literally every single person who's ever created a video. And if I'm being totally honest, I still hate the way I look and sound on camera. But it's time to finally get over that fear, because if you're going to create videos, you need to get used to being in front of the camera. That's why in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 tips that you can use to become more confident on camera. Because if you're uncomfortable on camera, your audience will feel uncomfortable. But if you feel confident and project confidence, your audience will have confidence in you. I'm Sivan Felder, and I'm the head of video marketing at Two Heads Consulting. Every Wednesday, we drop another video that helps you as an entrepreneur master this whole video thing without wasting too much time or money. If you're new here, then hit subscribe so that you get notified the next time we drop a video, and I promise they are always worth it. Before we get started, let me know in the comments below, what is your biggest fear about being on camera? A lot of times we overthink it. We're concerned about what other people are going to think about us, how we look, how we sound, and the truth is that everyone has those concerns or fears. Even people who have been creating videos and public speaking for years still get nervous. But if you can put aside all that judgment and just think for a second that you have something valuable to share with the world and you need to get it out there, then it puts everything into a little bit of perspective. So here are my 5 tips of how you can start practicing to feel more confident in front of the camera. Tip number 1 is don't memorize your script. Now, I know this sounds a little counterintuitive, because if you have everything memorized, wouldn't you feel more confident? But the truth is that very often when we memorize our scripts, we end up spending so much time trying to remember what we're saying that we end up talking in a monotonous voice because we're just repeating words. Instead, what I would suggest is creating a document that just has the bullet points of what you want to get across. Have your intro sentence, 3 to 5 main ideas, and a closing. This will help you keep the flow when you're talking so you don't get all lost and rambly on some tangent, but it will also not limit you to exactly the words you have on the page, and will make things feel a little bit more natural when you're talking. And even if you say something that makes absolutely no sense, which happens to me literally all the time, then you can just edit it out or start over. Don't worry about things being perfect. The more you practice and the more you get used to just kind of speaking off the cuff, the more natural it will be. So the sooner you get started, the sooner you will also feel that way. Tip number 2, put a picture of somebody that you know and like on the other side of the camera so that it feels a little bit more natural than if you're just talking to a camera lens. I find that this works really well, because actually having a person in the room when you're filming can feel a little bit awkward and weird. But if you have the face of someone to look at, it'll feel much more natural and kind of like you're just giving them over the information or having a conversation. This will help you get used to, again, having a more conversational tone and not just having it be you reading from a script. Number 3, I know that when you're just starting out, a lot of people recommend that you just be yourself on camera. But honestly, I think that's a really hard thing to do when you've just begun. Instead, one of the tips that they give you in acting school or whenever you're taking a public speaking course is to find a persona or a person that you really feel embodies confidence and kind of mimic their behavior when you're on camera. So you kind of channel that person when you're standing in front of the camera, and that makes you feel a lot more comfortable because suddenly you're a person with a lot of confidence. Now, I'll give you a little secret. I actually channel Hilary Duff. So when I'm standing on camera, the person that you see here is me, but when I started out, I pretended like I was her because to me, she embodied confidence. I really liked her when I was growing up and all the movies that I saw her in, and I thought, I'll just pretend to be her until I feel confident enough to do it myself. And now, when I stand in front of camera, yes, I'm Sivan, but I also mimic the person that I feel embodies a lot of confidence and that makes me feel confident. So choose somebody who you think really speaks well or gives over information really clearly, and really channel all of the hand movements that they do, the tone of voice that they use, and even the way that they structure their sentences. And before long, when you mimic them, you'll find that it becomes natural and you'll feel a lot more confident in your abilities as well. Let me know in the comments below who you are going to channel in your next video. Tip number 4 is practice, practice, practice. Now, my favorite place to do this is Instagram stories. I think it's such a fantastic way for you to get used to being on camera, but with really minimal risk, and if it really sucked, after 24 hours, it's gone anyway. Plus, there's so little expectations from people when it comes to Instagram stories. You could be walking and talking, your hair doesn't have to be done, you don't have to memorize a script. This is a really good way for you to start feeling comfortable putting your face out there, talking to your audience, and listening to what they have to say back. Now, the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll feel when you finally set your camera up and do things for real. Practice in front of the mirror even. It's not about having it be perfect, it's just about continuously repeating the process until it starts to feel natural. And tip number 5, and this is the most important one, just get over it. The truth is that you are a lot more critical on yourself than other people are on you. Think how much guts and confidence it takes to create a video and put yourself out there. Give yourself a lot of respect for being somebody who's doing that. And if people have comments to say that your video isn't perfect, or you messed up a line, or maybe your lighting wasn't great, who cares? One of the best quotes I've heard is, "Don't take criticism from somebody you wouldn't ask for advice from." And this goes with creating videos as well. Now, if you feel really nervous at the beginning, then start off just by sharing your videos to a select group of people who you know will give you positive feedback. And then when you're ready, share it with the world. But stop trying to be perfect, because perfection is just procrastination's evil twin. And it doesn't matter how good it is when you start, because you're always going to get better. So, if you finally have the script and you're ready to start filming your video, don't let your fear of being on camera stand in your way. I know that you're going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see the videos that you create. But if you're still not ready to be on camera, don't panic. There are plenty of types of videos you can create that don't require you putting your face on camera. In fact, I've created this entire video with 5 different types of videos that you can create that don't require you to put your face on camera. So if you'd rather start with that, then check it out. Now, if you're ready to finally start creating your videos and you want to know how to script the perfect social media video, then check out this video where I guide you through it step by step.